Well, good morning and welcome back to Cityline. We are in our second segment, and I teased you early on about we have a Juneteenth segment. This is it. Bring the kids in, bring mama in, get out your paper and pencil because we have some important things and some dates that you want to remember. First off, let me introduce you to the royalty on the couch. All right. J.D. Davis, he is the president and CEO of Way Out Kids. I have known you 20 years
You're
now?
dating us.
I know, I am. But
been,
so good to see. And you know
likewise.
what? You just look younger with those Nike swishy things on your feet and everything.
I try to keep it.
Yeah,
keep it
you don't
right.
age. You just go backwards. It's so good to see.
You too. You too.
And next to you, your brother from another mother.
Yes.
Because the chemistry between the two of you is undeniable
real,
in terms of
right.
standing in the solution and making this world better. Antonio McLemore, you are with the Eastside Community Center. You're their supervisor, and they fall under the Metro Parks umbrella. Welcome to Cityline.
Yeah, thank you. It's also probably important that I also mention that I also oversee People Center.
Yes, you do.
Every once in a while, my overseer manager will remind me that I have 2 facilities.
You have 2 facilities.
He's like,
so let's give People Center some love.
He's like, I do want to remind you have another center.
Yeah, and I do want to remind our folks at home, put your foot up on the table.
Let's go. It's
There,
real.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That shoe.
Juneteenth inspired, baby. Hey, do they have my good side? I just want to make
Yeah,
sure,
give a good side.
I just want to make sure you,
You
give
don't
a good
have a bad side.
Oh, come on.
Remember
Thank
that,
you.
okay? All right.
That's why you do what you do.
That's why I do. Yeah, exactly. So, Antonio, tell us about the history of Juneteenth and why this event is so vital to every community,
Yes.
if not the East Side community.
Yeah, well, I think this is a part of a great piece of American history.
Yes.
The African American experience in America is a part of the American experience.
Yep.
And so in 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation, January 1st, went into play. But for a lot of enslaved Africans, they didn't get that news.
It was held from them.
It was
on
held from them,
purpose.
strategically
Let's
held
just
from them.
call
Yes,
it what it is.
It was strategically held
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 2 years later.
They were told.
Yeah, but it also required enforcements. So 2,000 soldiers arrived to Galveston Bay, Texas, to release those African American enslaved people from their services, from their, from the enslaved bondage that they were under, and they were notified of their freedom and their emancipation. And so that's why this is not just historical for African Americans. This is not just why we celebrate this as African Americans, but also as Americans, we celebrate this holiday because it was the day that that the original sin, as sometimes we say, was resolved, or the first step.
Yes.
To freeing enslaved Africans.
And everybody needs to know this. I was not taught this in high school. No big surprise.
I wasn't either.
Yeah.
Outside of
Yeah.
African American spaces.
Yeah, one of my best sister friends told me about this, and I was just like, I'm like, this is worse than the Holocaust, which you just said to me.
Yep.
I cannot believe it, but it's real.
Yep.
We stand in it, and we learn from it, and we don't repeat it.
Yeah, because if you're not informed, then I also don't have any accountability or responsibility to resolving the damage, the hurt, the harm that was caused.
Absolutely, and even though I wasn't there, I am a white privileged American, and I am a part of that system, so I need to know everything so I can stand in the solution and not repeat it.
Absolutely.
JD, why do we choose a road to economic freedom for the theme of this Juneteenth celebration?
That's a great question. I guess when you think about true freedom, right? So you had one instance where they had to come let them know they were free, but they did not offer any economic freedom along with that word of you are free. And so when we think of freedom, we know that economics has a lot to do with that. So we chose to say this event will be Juneteenth, a road to economic freedom, so we can provide opportunity for our people. So we've invited finance out, people like Seattle Credit Union, Columbia Bank, Sound Community Bank, housing. If you want to learn how to start a business, they'll be there. MultiCare is coming out around the health system. Of course, we have our great partners in Metro Parks. But anything that can help you get to your next step, the trade organizations, they'll be there. So anything basically that can help you get to your next step will be at this event. So it's a road to economic freedom. By the time it's over, we want you to say, well, if you're trying to find a job, you can talk to them, they're hiring. If you are looking to buy a house, you can talk to them about financing. You know, so all this will be there, or start a business, they'll be there. So it's a road to economic freedom, because true freedom a lot of times comes economically.
Yes, it does. It does. What you're saying is bringing back up. Yesterday, I watched the State of Blackness, and they were talking about so many great new programs for first-time home buyers, and that is so important in that intersection of systemic and racism and redlining. It's like, come on, you have to be able to help people secure a home. That's part of breaking that cycle.
Right.
So here we have Juneteenth. You've got it laid out.
Dr. King once said, he's like, imagine fighting to have access to a table in a diner and then getting access to that table and not having the resources to pay for anything there.
Exactly. You're free, but we haven't given you a job, and we haven't given you a place to stay, or we haven't helped you with food. What good is your freedom then? You're still trapped.
True.
Absolutely. Okay, so Antonio, you are known for performances. I remember the bear you used to have. I remember some of the cartoons that you had and the videos that were very cool. So what performances were we going to see at this celebration?
Oh, JD.
JD, yes.
Okay.
I said Antonio.
You
JD.
said got it.
Sorry.
Oh,
Good,
right.
because I'm going to jump in here too.
Well, yeah, you are. And because you guys are
so
really
that was
just
a cue.
one. We
That
need to
was-
have one name for both of you.
Yes, and we have the shiny head thing going.
Yeah,
I think it's just, you know, the more you expose the brain, I think the better the brain
We're going to
flows
call
and
you
stuff.
Jantonio. Jantonio.
Oh, so performances. You know, when we're thinking about this whole economic freedom thing and getting people out, because we want our vendors to do well, we've invited some national acts to come out. So we are bringing out Jay Holiday, which is he's a hit artist. He has several songs that went on top Billboard songs. And then as far as on the gospel side, we're bringing Tacoma's own Crystal Akins, who was the number one winner with Gospel's Best. So she's coming out to tear the house down. And then we have other performers that will share the stage with them who are locally local performers too.
I love that. Oh,
so
that's
it'll be great.
fabulous. Will there be activities for kids?
Well, Way Out Kids is who we
Way
are,
Out
right?
Kids.
So we're all about the kids. So
Yes.
there will definitely be activities for the kids there. We'll have all the bouncies there and games and arts and crafts, and then it's right next to a playground.
I love that.
So there'll be lots of things to do for kids.
So I want to ask a question that's not on my list of prepared questions because it just dawned on me, and this is open to both of you. So how are you teaching this narrative to those kids? Is it, I mean, because I hope that people with my skin color will show up and sit down and listen.
Yeah, can I jump in
Sure.
real quick? I think this is what I always talk about, the equity conversation. There's a lot of attractive and sexy definitions, right? That sometimes deters us from the heart of the conversation. And I think what oftentimes happens is we miss the human side. This is the human work. I always say equity is the human work. And so I can be very informed, right? I can have all the definitions. But if I don't have a relationship with JD or Antonio, or if I don't have any relationship with anyone on the other side of the division, right? That's a real thing in Tacoma.
It is the dividing line.
And then the information is of no value to me, right? Information doesn't lead to transformation.
There we go.
And so the goal is that people leave with an authentic, not just an experience, right? Because the experience is huge, but also they leave with like, oh my gosh, wow, we both like, somebody both singing the song. And they're like, oh, you like the song too. Oh, I went to the concert too. Or whatever, like that people find some commonality and
Common ground.
some common ground, and that there are relationships that are formed. And that throughout that journey, because there's learning for all sides.
You bet there is.
They're going to be young. My babies are going to be there, and they're going to be learning too.
How old are your babies?
They're 9 and 6.
Oh,
and they run my
age.
house. Just don't tell them that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
You are not in charge. We all know that. So speaking of great uniters and common ground, you are going to have some food trucks there. Yeah. We have about 2 minutes left in our segment. We need about an hour more. You know this.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you've mentioned mentioned that common ground. You've mentioned somewhat some collaboration, but we would be remiss because it does take a village if we didn't thank sponsors. So let's
Yes.
thank sponsors and see where we are after that.
Yes.
So who do we need to thank?
I need to thank several sponsors that jumped on board to get involved with this event because it wouldn't have been possible without them. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper
Please
here.
do.
So let me go. Metro Parks, of course, thank you.
Yes.
Tacoma Urban League, who's our title sponsor. Thank you, Tacoma Urban League. Tacoma Creates. We can't leave out Tacoma,
No.
the City of Tacoma and Tacoma Creates. Amazon. Thank you very much, Amazon, for getting
Way to
involved.
show up Amazon.
Yeah, the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation.
them.
Thank you guys. And the Washington Federation of State Employees.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
solid.
for coming on board. MultiCare, Alaska Airlines, Virginia Mason,
Keep
OB
going.
Credit Union,
Keep going.
Tacoma Public Schools, Sound Credit Union, Umpqua Bank, Seattle Credit Union, Comcast, the Port of Tacoma, Tacoma Public Utilities, Puget Sound Energy, Molina
got 30
Healthcare.
seconds. Keep going. Can you get him in?
OB Credit Union,
Out.
Way Out Kids, of course, TAPCO, Pierce County. Oh gosh, Coordinated Care. So
All right.
many sponsors.
Anybody who touched it.
Thank you guys all very, very much. You can go to our website, juneteenthwa.com, to get more information, and everybody's listed on there too.
I love
Yeah.
that. You two are just peanut butter and jelly. I don't know. I don't know who's what,
Yeah,
but well, I hope that
I
one
want
of
to
you
be peanut butter.
chunky or smooth.
I like smooth.
Okay, smooth. And you, what kind of jam are you?
I'm just the jam.
You are the jam.
Right,
Ooh,
right.
okay, I like
always
that.
Well
been.
done.
Right.
Gentlemen, I'm going to pop down to your event and give you both big hugs. And thank
Would
you
love to
so
see you.
much for continuing to stand in the solution for justice, love, and peace.
And thank you for serving our community for so many years and highlighting important things like this
Wow.
and spreading the word. So thank you.
You're welcome. This is
Yeah.
my heart, so thank you. When we come back, 2 words, chair affair. I'll explain in a second.